Welcome to the Red Devil Experience. We're doing the Red Devil recap. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 2. Good win by Manchester United. Good 3 points. A definitely improved performance. The match sent me through a kind of range of emotions. It was cagey ending to the match. Definitely something that we needed. The team pulled it out. I'm proud that the team did it. I'm proud that the players stepped it up. Last match at Old Trafford of the season. And I think it was absolutely fantastic. Richard, it's good to have you in the chat. What are you saying? Fantastic football around. Special praise for Bruno, AMAD, Rasmus, and Koobie. Yes. I couldn't fit Koobie in the title because they restrict me. But yes, absolutely. Those four, that's who we're gonna talk about. That's who we're gonna praise. We're obviously gonna do the player ratings. Everybody that's in here, smash the like button for me real quick. And let's get on to it. I got a good amount of I took some notes. I got some player ratings. So, let's discuss the match a little bit, then we'll go into a free-for-all. I think in the first half, I think we played pretty good. First 30 minutes, we were pretty strong. Bruno, Garnacho, they were having a good link-up play. Very good on the ball with each other. Sorry, just checking to make sure this is good. Diallo was getting involved. I liked what I saw from Diallo. Diallo was very good. What else? Cutting inside, finding himself in good positions, good chances, doing good dribbles. Amrabat, I think Amrabat provided some stability yet again. I think he was very, very important. The only issue that Amrabat has is that his pace. He gets caught on the ball sometimes. He's a little bit slow. It's like turning an 18-wheeler sometimes. So that is definitely a problem for him. But otherwise, every other part of his game is very good. He provides defensive stability. He makes good tackles on the ball. He gets, he gets in good positions. So I think he's been important coming into this side. And I think actually Ten Hag deserves credit. He deserves a little bit of criticism because I think it took him too long to make this change, but he also deserves the praise because he has made the change. Hey, Axe Lord is back. How you doing, Axe Lord? Chat, because I always like to read off the chat. Chat saying, Richard saying, Casemiro actually defended well tonight, but I thought we had a lot more freedom in our play. I think the freedom just comes with just probably being at home. Last match, they seemed a little bit more up for it. They seemed a little bit more confident in what they were doing, and I think that's where the freedom. And also, you know what? To be honest, it might have been the tactical setup too. That having Bruno playing the false nine, I think definitely played to our advantage. We're gonna get on to that because I actually think it plays to the rest of the team. And I saw, there was a lot of criticism like how Rasmus wasn't starting, but I actually thought it was the correct decision, and it did pay off because we did play very well. But let me just go through some of the notes. There was a moment in the game where Casemiro, he did make 1 or 2 mistakes, 1 or 2 rash decisions playing out in the center back, lunging, going to ground. But he did make an important, very important clearing of the ball off the line, saving us from a goal. We were well under pressure once again after scoring a goal. We couldn't seem to get a grip of the game after we conceded for like a good 10-minute period. This does happen often. I don't know why it happens, but we were pretty much in control of the game up until when we scored the goal in the first half, and then we turned into like prime Sheffield United, and we just looked like we were going to concede at any minute. We looked very shaky, and I was actually definitely concerned. But Casemiro did a very good job clearing the ball off the line, so he definitely deserves credit from that. And like I said, the last 10 minutes from the first half, from like the 35th minute to the 45th minute, we let Newcastle back into the game a little bit. We struggled to keep up what we were doing before we scored the goal, and we needed to get back on the front foot. Before the half ended, There's very good link-up play between Koobie, Mainoo, and Diallo, leading to a very dangerous chance inside the box. It was good 1-2 between them. They seem to have very good chemistry and understanding between each other. There was different moments in the match where they did this. Them two seem to have some type of good chemistry, good understanding between each other, and they were doing great things playing the ball with each other. And also, I think Bruno and Garnacho were doing a very similar thing down on that left hand side. Bruno Fernandes, I think, was absolutely fantastic. I think it shows and it highlights where Bruno Fernandes' best position is, and that would be up in that position. Obviously, maybe not playing as a false nine all the time, but having the striker and playing directly behind the striker instead of being somewhere in the midfield, playing more of a sort of a box to box. I think Bruno plays absolutely fantastic when he is like in and around the box areas and can create these little chances, and it gives him a little bit more freedom. I think it gives him a little bit less work to do, and it just helps his game. I mean, the first half, he was fantastic. He was making all the plays. He was directing the tempo of the attack. He was dictating, the plays of the game. Linking up with Garnacho, sending Garnacho making good runs, but sending Garnacho good balls, and then, switching the play. Very excellent. So I thought Bruno had a very good game, and I think those couple days off, and just missing those matches, I think did him wonders. It kind of almost confirmed my theory that this guy has played way too many matches, and he is a little bit burned out, because we've seen that he's taken some rest, and he came back and he was absolutely fantastic today. He was on top of his game. He looked very lively. He was everywhere. He did pretty much everything. And he didn't make too many mistakes. I felt like he was making a lot of mistakes throughout the season, and I think just him being out a little bit and getting a little bit of a refresher for himself mentally and physically, had helped him. And you guys, Axe Lord is saying Højlund coming from the bench to score a good goal, showing confidence and strength in Rooney-like style. Yes, very very happy for Højlund. I'm with him there in the celebration. I'm with him there in the celebration. There's a lot of talk about him. As we said, I think he gets unfairly criticized, and that was probably the best possible thing you could do. And actually, maybe one or two players could take a page out of his book, right? He's getting criticized a little bit. He hasn't been, contributing goal-wise. Performances, you wouldn't say have been like that great or great at all. He's definitely been struggling. Didn't start the match tonight. Came on, was on the pitch for about 2 minutes, and the first touch of the ball, the first chance he gets, he did absolutely excellent. Took on two defenders and slotted the ball beautifully into the bottom left corner of the goal. So and that's how you respond, and that's how you answer the critics, and that's how you shut them up, and that's what you do, man. He got given 10 minutes, and it only took him 2. Or 15 minutes, and it only took him 2 to respond and basically shut everybody up and do what he did. Richard saying, yeah, the tactics worked very well. I think they did, and I think the tactics worked very well, because see, when I saw the lineup, I was actually encouraged, and I actually felt like we were actually going to get a good performance. There was a couple different factors for that. One, it was the last match at Old Trafford before the season ends, so I felt like the players were really going to be more up to it, and they had a little bit more incentive to do so. But at the same time, I was just thinking about, what are the criticisms that I've been saying, and maybe some of us have, and one thing that kept sticking out in my mind was that we've said multiple times, Rasmus doesn't get service. He struggles to get service, and it's really comes from the wingers, because the wingers are not like traditional wingers. They're more like inside forwards. They look to cut in. They look to have a shot. And I was thinking, and I'm like, well, you know what? If Bruno is playing as the false nine, and he's going to be dropping back like Rasmus does. He does drop back a lot, but obviously Rasmus doesn't have the ability to ping and make passes the way Bruno Fernandes does. So I kind of figured that I was like, this might actually work very well for us because Bruno's going to tuck in. He's going to get on the ball. It's going to suck in a couple of either one of the center backs or whatever. It's going to open up some more space. It should open up more space for the wingers, which it did. And it's going to allow them to cut in and have more space when they cut in. And they're almost going to become like two forwards. And that's essentially what happened. And we definitely had a lot of space on the wings. Our wingers were like flourishing. They were loving it. Diallo played absolutely fantastic, showing his skill. Quick with his feet, with the ball in his feet, confidence, just taking on players, being direct, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy Mainoo scored a goal. I think today was a really good performance for Manchester United. I think today is a day to be really positive about the team. You look at all the players that got on the score sheet, Diallo, Mainoo, and Højlund. Those are our three out of the four bright young kids, and they're on the score sheet. And so, you're happy with that. You're happy with that. And you probably couldn't ask for much more other than maybe Garnacho scoring a goal. And that would just be like, I guess, being a little bit greedy, but we take what we get, and it's a good 3 points. I think that was like our first win over Newcastle since we beat them in the Carabao Cup final last year. So, and again, positives there. Richard saying playing the forward, attacking midfielder suits him. Yeah, that is his position. That was always originally his position. And even when he came to United, he was playing there for a while under Solskjaer. It's only been more recently that he's been playing in that sort of box to box in the midfield position, and it's basically pretty much probably down to some of Ten Hag's tactics, but also the fact that the injuries we've suffered and all that, it allows you a little bit less play and a little bit less options that you can do, when you're setting up for a match. But I think I was okay with Ten Hag putting Rasmus on the bench because I think Rasmus needed a break. I think he needed a rest. He's the only striker we have. And again, the responsibility, it was never supposed to be his to be the leading striker. That was never the plan. And I think it was always too much. And I think he's did good to weather that storm throughout the season. And obviously he struggled at points. And I think it was the correct move. I think Rasmus needed a break, and Rasmus scored his goal anyway. He came on and took his chance. So, Sandy, good to see you, buddy. Richard saying, I do think AMAD has certainly given every reason to get a start in the FA Cup. Oh, 100%. I think he'll start. I think he'll start now. Sandy's saying he can eat now. I'm glad you can eat, buddy. I'm glad United won so you could eat. But how are you, bro? Good evening. Very happy, my friend. You just don't know. Today we have done a good job, and keep up a good job. Yeah. Axelord is eating too. Everybody's eating. Rasmus is eating. Mainoo's eating. Diallo's eating. Sandy's eating. Axelord is eating. I'm gonna eat in a little bit after we do this show. Yeah, but it is good, and it's good to come on here and actually be able to be positive about the team, and not be angry and not be negative, because that's what I want. I don't want to be here, saying the players are this, the players are that, what was this, what was that. I want to be on here. I want positive vibes. It's always a good time, and today we can have that, and you got to take it as it comes. Obviously, the club still has its problems, and there's a lot of things that need to be fixed and a lot of issues that need to be dealt with, but one day at a time. And today is a positive result. Now, obviously, there was some things in the match that weren't so positive, but those are football matches, and that's how it goes. There's ups and downs. The end of the match was kind of cagey. We did let up a goal. I think, the team had to do better on that second goal. Somebody had to rush out and try, get to that ball. Whether they did or not, that would have been a different story. But there was so many of our defenders that kind of just stayed in the box and was trying to get a block on it. But somebody had to go out there and put their body on the line and try and get that block in. And then there was periods in the game where we kind of seceded possession, where we kind of seceded the tempo on the match and all that. And it looked like we were falling off a little bit, but I think we did good to defend. I think the structure and the unity in defending. We made a couple mistakes, giving the ball away cheaply, leaving ourselves open to counterattack. But overall, it was a good performance, and we got the 3 points, which is important, and that's what matters the most. Axelord saying that AMAD performance is very important in terms of team dynamics. It shows Rashford that he may sit on the bench if his form goes down, because he didn't finish. But because Rashford has been, if not me, then who, and rightfully so. But now he gets his answer with AMAD. Rashford is great, but he needs internal constructive competition. And you know what? It's a great point. I would say this. This season, Marcus Rashford has not been great. And I've said this once or twice. From what we've seen, and Rashford has been given a lot of backing by Erik ten Hag and a lot of trust, and it hasn't necessarily been repaid in terms of performances, right? I think right now at the moment, Garnacho is starting and Diallo is starting, and then the backups has to be Marcus Rashford and Anthony, and that's just the way it is. And then the argument really is between who's coming on first onto the pitch, because between Rashford or Anthony. Now you've seen. I don't think Anthony wasn't involved today. Was he even on the bench? Because I don't even know the bench, but he wasn't involved today. And Rashford came on, and we did go kind of into defensive mode, so it was a little bit hard for him. He did have that 1 or 2 opportunities, but you seen him sprinting out there. You saw him running back. Anthony was on the bench, yeah. You saw him sprinting back. You saw him, just giving at least 100% effort for the 10 minutes he was on the pitch. And I think he is slightly concerned because, one, he's been out with the injuries, right? But now on top of that, as you mentioned, Diallo has put in 2 very, very excellent performances in the last 2 matches, and whenever he was basically a sub or a cameo, he's done good too. And I think that he does deserve to be starting just in terms of merit. And that's what I would go for, and I hope Ten Hag does it, because if he doesn't, I will be frustrated by that, and I would feel like that's the wrong decision. But today, Erik Ten Hag did everything correct. I think maybe the substitutes, he could have made them a little bit slightly earlier. But I was thinking maybe not, because maybe he doesn't want to make too many changes, because at the end of the day, we were winning. The team was fighting. The team was battling, and the team was putting in a pretty good performance. I thought the changes that he made was good. I think he probably would have made the changes sooner if he could. I feel like Martinez probably couldn't play more than 10-15 minutes and didn't want to risk him, so he was kind of waiting. And maybe the same thing with Rashford, and that's why he waited to make those subs. Anthony not coming on the pitch is actually kind of a surprise. He might have been punished slightly, because I did see a video where he was not happy that Ten Hag made him play left back in the last match. So maybe he was punished for that reason, and maybe he didn't put him on, because I thought maybe I thought he would have at least subbed him on, taking Garnacho off and giving Garnacho, like, just take Garnacho off for 10-15 minutes, give him a little bit of a breather, because I think he needed that, because Garnacho was a little bit gassed, and he played good, but obviously the other guys played better today. And Axelord saying, I agree. It's been a bad season for him. Garnacho and Diallo are better now, but in terms of skill and potential, Rashford is great. He is only second to Mbappe when he shows his capabilities. Yeah, I mean, when Rashford is on top of his game and he's in his form like he was last season, there was really no better winger in the top 5 leagues that were performing better than him. The problem that we have with Marcus Rashford is that he is an on and off. He is an on and off player. I mean, go look at the stats for his career since he's come into like the first team. Really, he has one good season. The next season is bad. The next season is good. The next season is bad. The next season is good. He had his best season last season, and now he's having one of his worst seasons this season. And if we're going by the way he it usually goes for him, I'm expecting him to have a good season next season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does. But at the current moment, 100% based on merit, we got to go with Diallo and Garnacho. The only thing is, I think Garnacho seems a little bit tired. But I wouldn't drop him for that reason. I would just sub him off maybe at like the 65th minute or something. Depending on, how he's playing on the pitch as well. Obviously, if he's very threatening and he's being very dangerous in the match, I probably leave him on a little bit longer or just leave him on the whole match. But, Richard's saying I want a bench that challenges every single first team starter. And yeah, that's what we need. We need to build that. That's why I've been saying we have to build a proper squad with a proper foundation, right? There's the lesser players that they need to go, and if you can identify and get in correct players, the bench players should not necessarily be bench players. They should be players that are challenging for first team spots, and that they have the ability or potential to displace a first team or a starter, and they can take their place. Because the way we are set up right now, a lot of the bench players we have, they are not replacing our starters. They're just not good enough. They cannot match the ability. So that's what we need to do. But yeah, his inconsistency is a problem. But let me get back to the match, and then we'll come back. We'll come back to this. So in the first half, I kind of gave them a player ratings, just based off of the first half, and then we'll kind of do like where they kind of finished. The scores are probably going to be slightly lower because the second half performance, we kind of dipped. Newcastle had more chances created, a little bit more possession. But we still did a good enough job to win the match, of course. But I think Onana, first half, he had a 6. He didn't have much to do. He made 1 or 2 saves that were pretty standard, and his distribution was pretty good. With the feet. And Wan-Bissaka, I think in the first half, I gave him like a 6.5, almost a 7. He was good defensively. All his defensive actions were good. His positioning was good. He was strong, and he was making good tackles. Now for me, Wan-Bissaka, he finished the match with like a 6 or a 6.5, because in that second half he seemed to drop off a little bit, and he was getting caught out of position, and he didn't replicate it. But I don't think he was like awful, but he was just, it did drop off in the second half. Casemiro, for me, in the first half, I gave him a 6.5. He made like 1 or 2 mistakes, but the performance definitely improved from the last games, playing in center back, and he saved us from conceding a goal, clearing the ball off the line with his head. So that was important. So I think, for the first half, I think he was above average there. I, he just did his job. He just did his job. Whoa. Oh. He just did his job. And hold on. We got a problem going on. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, he just did his job. I think it was pretty standard. The low, I was giving him a 6.5 for the first half. He was heavily involved in both the defense and attack. I think he was doing important jobs on both ends of the pitch. Getting involved, putting in a couple good crosses. Doing some good defensive actions. Amrabat, I give him a 6.5. For the first half, he had good strong tackles, good positioning. I wrote here speed is still an issue. He got caught on the ball like 2 or 3 times, leading to dangerous chances for Newcastle. But otherwise, I think all around he provided security in that midfield yet again. I think we've seen the difference since he's come into the team. I think we've seen a difference there. Obviously, we still conceded 2 goals, but that just is, the difference in between what's going on with the defense and the midfield. Scott McTominay, I give him first half. I think he had like a 6, maybe even a 6.5. He had a better performance. He was more involved today. He was attacking, but he's another one of those players where his speed is sort of an issue when he gets onto the ball. He does get caught up, or he does have to slow it down. But he wasn't invisible. I think last match out, he was invisible. He did absolutely nothing. He had like no impact on the game today. I think he definitely did have a better impact on the game, but I think he was pretty standardly average. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't like amazing. Mainoo, I give him a 7 in the first half. He scored a goal. He was showing a lot of composure on the ball. He was done well to get forward, doing good link up play between him and Diallo. I think Mainoo, was just doing another Mainoo performance. He was doing good. Um, Garnacho, I give him a 6.5 in the first half. Good link up play with Bruno. Had a good chance in the first half. Almost scored. It was a difficult shot, and it was good goalkeeping. So, and I think he was getting in dangerous positions, and he was making good runs. So, I gave him that. Diallo in the first half for 6.5. He was good direct attacking play, has shown directness and confidence, quick feet, and he got the assist for the main goal. And he started that play. So I think he deserved that. And Bruno, I gave him a 7 for the first half as well, because he was excellent in the false nine, making very good plays and being a good outlet, moving the ball and being the focal point of the attacking plays. And he made some very nice passes and some very good decisions. Lyle's here. What's up, Lyle? So what are you guys saying? And Axe saying, Richard saying Ali played nearly his whole United career from the bench and was one of our best players. Yeah, because Ali was smart and he would watch the game and he would study the game. And he would be ready to make an impact. But that's when you have somebody that's when you have somebody that buys into things, right? Ali obviously always wanted to start. He wanted to be a starter. He wanted to be the main guy. But he obviously wasn't. But he could have pouted. He could have cried. He could have been like, screw this. He could have been like, screw that. But he took it on board, and he always made sure that he was like, listen, I know I'm going to get 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. He's like, I'm going to make sure I pay attention and I'm going to study the game. And when I get onto that pitch, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make sure that I make the biggest impact that I can. And that's why you need players to buy into everything. They have to buy into the manager. They have to buy into the philosophy. They have to buy into the team. When they don't want to do things, which is a problem, which is why attitude is important, but also mentality is important. You have to have those correct things. And that's why Ferguson was so good at creating teams, because he was so well at reading and judging. It's not even players like ability wise, but as human beings, as people. And that's what led to him building fantastic and great squads. And it's something that we've been missing for quite some time, and hopefully we go back to that. Lyle, hope you're doing good. What are your thoughts on the performance in the match? How you feeling? Axe Lord saying Casemiro played well, saved the team from a goal. The referee saved us from a penalty, but hey, think about it. Liverpool game or the Chelsea one. Very glad for Martinez coming back. Yes, I'm happy Martinez is back. I think his first interaction was he stepped in, he stole the ball, like right on top of the edge of the box or inside our box at the top of the box. And I was like, that's the butcher. That's it. Getting in there, sticking his foot in, getting a touch on the ball and breaking up that play. So I was happy about that, and it's good to see him back, and I can't wait to see him hopefully play 90 minutes in the FA Cup final. I think he's going to be very important for us. We definitely missed him. Casemiro did play well today. He did. He played much better. Still, one or two weird mistakes, or just like, but overall, if you compare it to what he's given us in the last few matches. Definitely improved performance, definitely a better performance, and it was definitely not below average. So, and he did save the team from a goal, which was very important, because if we just added that to the goal line, we would have tied. Even though Rasmus did help us out too. Uh, so it was important from that. And then when we got to the second half, uh, we started the second half kind of poor, kind of slow. We were on the back foot. From the start of the half to the 50th minute, we obviously conceded the goal, which was just poor all around. It was bad distribution from Onana. Amrabat made a mistake, missed the ball. Diallo kind of fell asleep on the guy making the run in from the wing, and then also even Wan-Bissaka did not cover for the pass across the goal. So just the whole team, performance was kind of slow to start back up in the second half, and Newcastle were definitely coming for us. But I think the team did good to fight, to hang in there, and keep going. Uh, you know, and then even because in the 52nd minute, we gave the ball away in a very poor area. We left ourselves exposed, and surely I was waiting for. I thought it was a Newcastle goal when Isaac was on the breakaway, and it was just Amrabat back there defending by himself, and it was almost becoming like a 2v1, 3v1, and I was like, shit, we're screwed. I was like, here's a goal, it's coming a goal, and Amrabat, thankfully with a very good block, defending all alone, and he basically stopped a sure goal on a breakaway from Newcastle after a poor giveaway from United. And that was very important for us. So, Amrabat again showing that he did make a difference, defending wise, and he has helped us out. And I kind of look at it now, and I understand there was moments and periods where, Amrabat was coming on as a substitute, and he looked absolutely awful in certain matches, right? But at the same time, I was like, shit, from what we've been suffering lately, that midfield that Ten Hag was putting out with Eriksen, Bruno, and Mainoo was so not working. And you can see the difference in the midfield by just sticking Amrabat in there instead of Christian Eriksen. It makes the world of difference. They're two totally different players. Eriksen can't really defend, and Amrabat can defend way better than him. He's also way stronger, which is very important. So I kind of wish myself that Ten Hag made that change few matches ago, maybe like 4 or 5 matches ago. Uh, but at least he made it now, and he should probably stick with it because it's working better for us. Obviously we need to improve things because again, we only got a +1 on goal difference. We probably could have got some more. I would have liked to see them hold out for 3-1. We obviously gave up the goal, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Lyle saying was a good game. All I could think about though was we needed this performance from so many other games, easier games actually. We could have easily been 10 or 15 points stronger on the table. And yeah, that's a good point. And that's kind of where you get a little bit frustrated, you get a little bit upset with the team because it's like we could have done this in so many other matches. We needed to do this in so many other matches, and obviously we failed to do it for numerous different reasons. Um, and you just kind of wish that they did do it, and it's almost a little bit of regret. But listen, it is what it is. We can't go back. The season is pretty much done. I mean, we can still get a European spot depending on results on the last day of the match. We got to go do our job, and that's all we can ask from the players and the team right now is to go out there the last day versus Brighton, do your job, get a win, and whatever happens after that happens after that. Um, but I'm pretty much to the point of just I'm accepting whatever it is. If we don't get Europe, we don't get Europe. If we somehow manage to sneak in there, um, then whatever. I'm really looking forward to the summer window. I'm looking for the club to make these changes that they need to make, and I'm ready to go for next season because I think we won't see a season like this next season. and that's what I'm focusing on because I'm trying to be positive. Ray's in here. Hey Ray, how you doing? Good show, good win on the last day at home. Yeah, that's what I was saying, and that's another point to Lyle. What Lyle was saying. I think the players, and I said this, I think they had a little bit more incentive today. It was the last match at home at Old Trafford for the season. Varane leaving, Martial is gone, so it was kind of like a little bit more extra sentimental day. Um, we're playing at home, Newcastle. They like to fucking give it to us and shit. So I think the players were a little bit more up for it, and I think also just having Bruno Fernandes back on the pitch. I mean, he is our captain, so I think that helped. I think there was a lot of different aspects. I think even maybe Martinez just being a part of the squad, being inside of the dressing room, he can affect the mentality a little bit more inside of that dressing room, even before the match, just traveling with the squad. So I think there was small little factors that helped today push that we haven't had the luxury of having all season long on a consistent basis, which is that's led to the inconsistency in results and performances and like that. Um, but we're getting here. Diallo had a very good shot outside the box, 60th minute. Right foot, strong shot. I wish he scored that. That would have been a fantastic goal. But getting involved there. Casemiro, 65th minute, good ball to Bruno. That's something that I wanted more. This is why I write these notes. Casemiro, he did have some very good balls over the top to our attacking players. I think he did put in a couple good balls over the top throughout the match. So that was good for him and positive for him. And then Onana had two very big and two very good and important saves around the 66th minute. Huge chances for Newcastle, and Onana did very well to make those saves. So I think that was a good performance from Onana. Obviously, he had one or two instances kicking the ball out of his feet where it was a bad pass and it went to the other teams. And it happens. It happens though. He's never going to be 100%, but the team has to be ready for those things. They have to be ready for the fact of that. Things are gonna happen like that. You have to get the second ball. You have to get the second ball. Listen, the goalkeeper's not gonna have 100% pass accuracy. Especially when he's spraying the balls long or he's trying to be where he's trying to be cute with it and try and stick the ball into an area somewhere in the middle of the pitch or in between two or three opposing players. You as a teammate on the pitch, you got to be ready. You got to know, like, okay, the ball's going to Bruno. I got to position myself here just in case Bruno doesn't get the ball. I can get the second ball. And sometimes they don't really do that. They have to be a little bit more aware about that. Ray saying, I told guys, I told you last week when everyone was down that we are going to win the FA Cup. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got to get there first. Hopefully we have all the players back. Martinez, Varane. Hopefully they're back. Hopefully they start. It gives us an even better chance. And but I think the players will definitely be up for it. I think the players will definitely be up for it. I think they're gonna give us everything they got. And it should be a good match, and it should be hopefully a good performance. Um, you know, so but City are a tough team. City are tough to play. Um, but I think we might be able to do something. Again, it's an FA Cup. It's one match. Anything can happen. And as long as we have or we give ourselves the best possible chance, then we give ourselves the best possible chance, and maybe we could get something out of that. Bruno, I'm at a class. Amrabat was super solid, and Casemiro showed what he can do if he plays well. Onana was solid too. Onana did have two good saves, but he still does not convince me. Yeah, I think he needs a little bit of work on certain aspects, but he does have strong suits to his game, and he does have weaknesses to his game. And obviously, he's got to work to improve his weaknesses. Um, and his strong suits do help us out. And hopefully next season, if we build a better team that can play better out of the back and all of that stuff. It's only, his strong suits are only going to help us going forward, and hopefully we'll have a more solid defense. He'll concede less shots, which means hopefully he'll be conceding less goals. Um, we still played with a broken team today. 100%, we still played with a broken team, and that's why I'm saying, it was a good performance for what we had. Again, we have 36-year-old Johnny Evans playing back there. We got a right back. We got our main right back that should be starting at right back playing left back. We have the right back, the backup right back playing right back. We have no substitutes for either one of them, so they always constantly have to play 90 minutes. It's tough. It's not easy. And I think we did a good job today considering the circumstances that we've been going through and what we have. That's why. Also, want to get on to the fact that, Rasmus goal, 2 minutes on the pitch, gets the ball in the center, on top of the box, takes on the defenders, excellent low finish to the bottom left corner of the goal, gave one of these, rightfully so. I think I'm with him there on that. I'm with him there in the celebration. I think he deserves to shush. He came on, had an instant impact. And I think everything went very, very positive and very, very well. The substitutes came on. They made an impact. Rasmus scored. So at the end of the day, Ten Hag gets to walk away with all the credit today. I think the starting lineup was correct. I think when he put in the substitutes came on. They had an impact. Again, maybe he could have made them earlier. Maybe he couldn't. We're not privy to that information. Maybe Martinez and Rashford can only play 10, 15 minutes. Maybe that's why he didn't make the subs. I was surprised that Anthony didn't get a cameo at all. Again, I find that a little bit interesting. I thought maybe he would have taken Garnacho off and given him a little bit of a rest. And he did not do that. So I was a little bit surprised by that, and maybe Ten Hag is not happy with the way Anthony responded in the last match to when he told him to go play left back. I don't know. Maybe he just decided not to put him in. Rasmus goal was top draw, and this is what I'm saying. Like, the kid has potential, and you could see he can become a very, very excellent goal scorer and a very important player for us. He's young. He needs time to develop, and he also needs somebody to just learn a little bit more things off of. He's a young guy. It's a big step that he's gone from Atalanta to United. United are this season struggling. We're a club in transition. We're trying to go in a certain direction, but there's a lot of work to be done, and it's going to take some time, and that's why I always have this rule, and I think Fergie used to do it. I don't know where I actually got it from, but, a player that comes in their first season, I never criticize them too hard, especially if you're coming from a different league. If you're coming from a different league, I don't like to criticize them too hard. I like to give them a little bit of leeway, a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, because it's like first season, there's a lot that needs to go in there. And then also it depends who you are. You know what I mean? Like, if you get Kylian Mbappe, right, and you put him in, like, I'm gonna be a little bit more critical of Kylian Mbappe than I'm gonna do of Rasmus Højlund, because it's two completely different players. They're also the experience level is completely different. You know what I mean? So, like, a player for like Rasmus Højlund, I this is why I've been protecting him and just backing him, because you can see the parts of his game, and you could obviously see the other parts of his game that he needs improvement on. But he needs time. He's a young guy, and he needs, and I think he was put in an unfair position that he was never supposed to be the main man. That was never the plan, and that was always Manchester United's fault due to just operating bad, not having the finances, not having the recruitment properly done. But Lyle saying Højlund showed exactly what he's worth when you feed him. Good goal from him. Yeah, I put out a tweet in like the first 10 minutes of the game, and I was like, watch United, because I was ready to get mad. I was like, watch United cross the ball 25 times into the box now that Rasmus isn't on the pitch. I was like, they're going to cross it more times in the box than they crossed to him the entire season. And sure enough, they were putting in like a bunch of crosses. And I was like, dude, I don't understand this team. I was like, when he's there, they don't put in these crosses. As soon as he doesn't start, they want to start crossing to people like McTominay and whoever else is in the box. And I was like, why don't you just cross it to him? Why you don't just cross him the ball? Why is it that you want to cross every time he exits the field? It's still a mystery to me, and I don't understand it. But again, feed him, and the kid will get chances, and the more chances he gets, I guarantee you he gets a goal. If you look at a player like Mohamed Salah, right, who plays on the wing, but he does score a lot of goals. But why does he score a lot of goals? Because Salah's getting 5, 6, 7, 8 shots a game on goal. He's obviously he makes some of those chances himself because he has the ability to run in and off the wing. But if you're gonna score, you need to have chances. You need to, like, every striker or anybody that's a goal scorer, they have more than one chance a game. They get like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chances. Now, out of those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chances, they might score 1, 2, or 3 goals. But yes, we moved the ball forward. Ray saying all the kids today were unbelievable. Future looks promising with these kids. And yeah, that's why we need to build with these kids, and we need to get more. We need to get more. That for me is the project. That for me is the project. Replace a couple of these players. We're talking about Fernandes going, and it's sad to see him go. And he had his send off today. He clapped the fans before they walked off the pitch. And I like him as a player, and he's good. But listen, let's rebuild the team properly. Varane is going. Let's get in somebody. 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24, 25. Something. Bring them in. Even with Lindelof, same thing. Like, move Lindelof on, even move Maguire on, get a bunch of them. And then we need to keep a couple core senior players. I think Martinez is old enough. I think he has the ability to lead. He's a warrior, so I think him and somebody else back there, I think, is okay. There's obviously Shaw, if he could stay fit. He's a more senior player. I think he's all right. I think Diallo has a good, correct mentality, so I think he's good, and he could help out some of the younger guys. We have to find the right balance between getting in a couple more younger players and having a sort of youngerish team, but then also at the same time we still have to have some experienced players in there to help these younger guys out. And Bruno, I think, is important in that aspect. Rashford can be, if he gets himself correct first. I think Rashford can definitely help them out, but he has to take care of himself first. Even I would move McTominay on, but I think McTominay is a good guy in and around the dressing room, and I think he has a good attitude and a good mentality, so I think he could help out there. But I would move him on. But Eriksen's got to go, for sure. He's got to go. Casemiro would probably still have to be moved on. There's a lot of players here that are on sort of the older side that we can get rid of and get in the younger players and really build a strong core unit of these younger teams. I'm so glad, Axlord, that you mentioned Scalvini, because I really want that guy. I think he's absolutely excellent. And if we were to get him, I would be over the moon. I think he's going to be a fantastic center back, that kid. And that would be great. I don't know if we're gonna get him. I kind of feel like it's just me dreaming, really. I don't think it's more of a reality, but if we were to get him, I would be very, very happy with Scalvini. And Euro is definitely a good young defender as well. And let's see what we do. Lyle was saying we moved the ball forward so much better today with no solid strikers. Super weird. So I actually said this, Lyle, in the beginning. I don't think you were here for that. But I was saying before the match started, when I seen the lineup, and people, there was, on social media, they were questioning, oh, why is Rasmus not starting? Why is Rasmus on the bench? And I kind of figured, and I was like, well, Bruno's going to play in the false nine. I hope, at least. Because I was like, either that or AMAD's going to play in the center and he's going to play Bruno on the wing. But I was like, that would be crazy because AMAD is obviously more naturally a winger. So I was like, why would you do that? So I figured that Bruno would play in the false nine. And I said this before, and I was like, that will play to our benefit because the criticisms that I've been having about this squad, and when we say Rasmus doesn't get fed the ball, doesn't get the opportunities, is because we don't have like the traditional wingers that are looking to pass and cross the ball. They like to cut in a lot more and have a shot. And I think AMAD makes a difference because I think AMAD, he does both, and he does it very well. And Garnacho can do both as well. I think Rashford is the one that struggles to try and find somebody in the box, and Anthony struggles because Anthony has no right foot and he's playing on the left, and it puts him in a weird, awkward position. And the only thing he could probably feel comfortable doing is really cutting in on his left and trying to have a shot. So I was just picturing it in the way of like, Bruno's gonna play false nine. Rasmus usually drops deep a lot anyway. So I was like, it probably will help us out because Bruno will get on the ball more. It should suck in a center back or two from Newcastle's defense, and it should open up some more space for our wingers. And then also Bruno has the ability to create when he gets that ball. When Rasmus drops deep and he gets on the ball, Rasmus can only do so much. Rasmus can only really hold the ball up with his back to goal and wait for somebody, to come to him or kind of make a run, and then he has to kind of just lay it off to them. Bruno can pick up the ball, and he starts moving around, and he can ping it 40 yards this way, 40 yards that way. He can hold on to the ball a little bit, like maneuver with the ball a little bit better. So I think that's why I think that's why we move the ball a lot better with no solid striker, because I think it plays to what we have right now. I think if we get better, or I think if the wingers, like if Diallo and Garnacho start doing a lot more better job of trying to provide for the striker, I think we'll see Rasmus play a little bit better. But then also Rasmus probably has to improve on his game of when he drops deep and holding on to the ball, because he does get dispossessed a lot of times. But I think that's why Bruno, it worked out well. I think it allowed a lot of freedom, because you've seen at times like, Bruno was dropping basically almost into the midfield, which allowed like Scott McTominay to make a run in. Koobie was making runs in, and then sometimes Garnacho's on the inside or Diallo would be on the inside, so it just allowed a lot more fluidity, and it confuses the defense a lot more because they don't know if they should go man mark, they don't know if they should just stick in their position. So it causes some more problems for the defense as well, for Newcastle. So I think it just played to our advantage. Unfortunately, we can't really play like that because then Rasmus would never play. You know what I mean? But I would like to see somewhere, somehow, that we can set up where it would be Rasmus up top, Bruno like basically right behind him, kind of playing like a center forward-ish type of player, a cam, but just really sticking into that area that he was today, and then maybe dropping back and doing all that good stuff. But I don't know. That's a little tough. You would have to figure out how to do that effectively and whatnot. But I think it played to our strengths today, and I think it worked out very well. And I actually had a good feeling that I was like, we might actually get a good performance out of this, because it plays to the strengths of the team. You guys are saying, Richard's saying, well, Bruno said after the match that it's all about getting the right balance. He also said that he is there for as long as the club want him. Yeah, he did. I heard him say that. And he's right. It is about getting the balance right. You have to get, play Bruno like a shadow striker. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The only thing is that like, because how do you fit that into the formation wise? You know what I mean? Because then you technically only have like you would only have the two in the center, or you would have to take away a winger, or something. You know what I mean? So you would really have to play around with it. But and then it's difficult because you kind of need the midfield three. But he would have to come back on defense and probably just drop a little bit or something like that. Because to be fair, McTominay and Mainoo, they were both making runs through the middle. They were getting forward, and I didn't feel like a lot of times throughout the match, our midfield was very, very exposed. Like they were getting back into their position. So as long as they do their jobs, or he would do his job, I think it would be okay. Um, you could probably get away with it, but then obviously you would have to change it for some matches. I don't think you would be able to play like that every match against certain teams. You know, but that's a story for a different time. Um, and then obviously like the last thing from the match was the the goal from Newcastle, and I already mentioned, that it was from a corner. The ball dropped to the Newcastle player, top of the box, after being cleared out. And it was a good shot, good goal from Newcastle. But somebody on our team had to rush out of that box. They kind of just stayed in the box and they were trying to get a block on it, and they were just and like you can't, like somebody had to rush out to that ball. So I was a little disappointed on that part, but otherwise, it was good overall. And I don't think I did like final player ratings, but they're pretty much close to like the first half ratings. But Ten Hag, I'd give him a 7 for today as well. I think he did absolutely excellent, and I'm gonna give my man of the match to Diallo. I think Diallo deserves man of the match. I think I liked what I seen from him today. He was very good attacking wise, confidence, good with the ball in his feet. He got on the score sheet, and he got an assist. So I think Diallo is my man of the match for today, and I would like to see him starting in the FA Cup final. And I hope Ten Hag sticks with Diallo and Garnacho. I really hope he doesn't drop one of them to put Marcus Rashford back in, because even though I do like Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford has been struggling, and I've been very critical of him, and rightfully so, I believe in my opinion. I think just solely based off of merit, solely based off of performances, and solely what the players are giving us on the pitch, I think Diallo deserves to start, and Rashford doesn't, and Rashford should just be coming off on the bench. Now, obviously, Marcus Rashford's gonna want to start in the FA Cup final against Manchester City, so I don't know, but I will, I'm telling you now, if he starts Marcus Rashford over Garnacho or Diallo in the FA Cup final, I'm gonna be very disappointed in that decision. I really don't want to see that. Um, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it could end up being not the right decision. I mean, Rashford could start and score 2 goals, and play the best game he's ever played. Um, but I just think as a decision to make based on performances and sort of trust and loyalty, I think Diallo has earned that. I think he's earned it. So Axe Lord saying, yes, I want Bruno, shadow playmaker, Rasmus up ahead. But you need a very fast DM and ball playing center defenses. This is why I say Euro, Scalvini, Neves, maybe. Yeah. But I think there we might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because well, I don't know the price tag for Euro. I don't know the price tag for Scalvini. Neves, I know for a fact is going to cost 100 million plus. Benfica will not let him go. I know a Benfica fan, um, and I know how Benfica operates. They are very, 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 very tough in their negotiations. They do not mess around when it comes to player transfer windows. And they will not. I know for a fact they will not let that kid leave. He is arguably, not even arguably, he is their best player in that entire team. João Neves. I was going to say Ruben Neves. João Neves. João Neves is their best player in that team. Benfica will not let him go for less than 100 million. So I feel like we're not going to get Neves. Plus, also at the same time, Benfica are looking to keep him for one more season. They do want him to stay for one more season. And I think he probably wants to stay there for one more season. So, but the other guys, I would definitely Scalvini, if we could take him and get him on a good price. And Euro, I'm familiar with too. And if we could get him on a good price as well, I'd be happy with those. And you're absolutely right, Axlord. We do need a very fast DM, which is kind of hard to find. But if you could get a younger guy, they usually have better legs. So we need that, and ball playing central defenders. Well, I think we have one in Lisandro Martinez. Um, and then we would need to get another one or two. I think our backups need to be replicas of the starters. So we should have probably at least three very good ball playing central defenders for sure. Unfortunately, Rashford making a cameo tonight confirms that he will most likely start in the FA Cup. Uh, I mean, yeah, he's back. He needed to make the cameo, right? And I don't wish him to not be out. I just think that the manager should make the decision and be like, listen, um, I understand you're a senior player. I understand, this and that. But this kid's been playing very excellent, and this kid has been playing very excellent all season. I've given you a lot of chances. Your performance haven't been up to par. So I'm gonna go with these two guys starting, and obviously you're gonna play in the match, and I'm gonna sub you in. But I think Ten Hag, I think he has to do it. From my standpoint, I think he has to do it for the benefit of himself. Um, because I don't think it benefits him to start Rashford and bench one of these guys when they don't deserve it. I think it's unfair to AMAD or Garnacho, and I think it's unfair to Ten Hag. I think it's unfair to himself to do that. But yeah, there is like the politics, and obviously Rashford is like supposed to be the main man of the club and all that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. But I would be disappointed because I think he should kind of put his foot down on that stamp and be like, listen, I gave you all season. You know what I mean? And these kids have earned the right to start. So, and then Richard saying, yeah, but that's the problem. For too long, we've been playing players on their reputation, not on their performance. Yeah, 100%. And who knows? He might have it in his contract. I mean, I know there was talks about that it was in his contract. Or it might be in his contract. I'm sorry. Like I don't want to get sued for whatever. No, but there was talks that it might be in his contract that he has to start or something. I don't know. Who knows? We don't actually know that, but I hope not. That would be kind of ridiculous. But then again, I wouldn't put it past him because look at who was running our club. We had Ed Woodward and Richard Arnold. Who the hell knows what the hell they put in their contracts when they gave him the contracts? I mean, that's one of the scariest things ever to think about. And I just want to get maybe some updates from online. How long have we been live for? Good hour. All right, so I think we're good on time today. So I'll go through and see a couple quotes from the players or anything like that. Obviously last time you're gonna see Varane at Old Trafford. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play. Amrabat does deserve big praise. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. It was literally a 3-on-1. Amrabat's there by himself. Newcastle player has the ball on the right-hand side pretty much. Isaac is basically completely wide open with a country mile of space in front of him. And Amrabat's just out there like a lost man on an island. And he ended up saving us, and that was when it was 1-1 in the 51st minute. And he literally saved us from there. And that's another thing too. Like I think like Amrabat does deserve to probably keep playing. Based on just how he's come in and helped this team perform. You know what I mean? Steve Bruce was here and he asked Ahmed, you know what you're going to do? Tomorrow you're going to knock on the manager's door to tell him you want to play in the cup final. And Ahmad said to him, no problem. So Steve Bruce telling Ahmad Diallo to go to Ten Hag's door and tell him that you want to play in that cup final. Yeah, hopefully if he does do that, I hope it doesn't go against him. I don't know. Steve, would you do that when Sir Alex was there? Would you go to knock on his door and tell him and tell Sir Alex, you want to play in the cup final? I don't know. I don't know if that was the best advice. But this is what I'm saying. Like, he deserves it. He deserves it. The kid deserves it, and that's why I'll be so disappointed. I'll be disappointed in Ten Hag, but I'll be disappointed for Ahmad as well because he really does deserve it. He does, and it would just upset me, to be quite honest. I don't think there's any reason for him not to. I can't find a good reason for him not to. Um, Anything else? Oh yeah, Martial is gone as well. He said his goodbyes. Um, you know, Licha, Martial, Diallo, Varane, and Bruno all taking one final pick at Old Trafford together. Um, so that is uh Wayne Rooney and Roy Keane and Andy Cole praised Amad Diallo's performance for the the MUFC win 3-2 over the Newcastle. So that's good. Legends getting behind the kid, and that just shows you the performance that he's had today, and that's why he is my man of the match. I mean, everybody is saying that what a performance that he's had, and rightfully so. And I think last match against Arsenal he did good, and then he stepped it up even more today. So very, very important, and he's making his statement. And I said this at a period too. I said this at a period. When people were getting very frustrated that he wasn't getting his starts and he wasn't getting playing time. And again, I think it's another example that some players can take a page out of his book. Obviously, he wants to play. Obviously, he was probably getting frustrated that he wasn't getting minutes or he wasn't getting a start. But you just have to keep your patience, and when you're given an opportunity, you make the opportunity count. Um, if you're given 10 minutes, you go on that pitch for 10 fucking minutes and you run as hard as you can, you play as best as you can, and you try to make the best fucking impact you possibly can. And if you do something, it's only going to lead you to get a better chance the next or going forward. Like, obviously, the manager is going to take that into account, and he's going to have his eye on you, and he's going to keep you in mind. You might not get it immediately the next match, but you have put yourself in a position. And Ahmed has done that. He has done that. And I think a couple players in the club can take a page out of his book on that. The kid has been patient. The kid has gone. Yeah, you have to make it, Richard's saying, you have to make it so the manager can't drop you, but you also have to keep your head, and you also just have to keep pushing forward. I feel like there's some players that they give up too easily, or they get too pissed off, and they want to like blow up the situation, and it's like, dude, just if you keep moving forward and you keep doing the things you're doing, unless the manager really is like the biggest dickhead in the world, you know what I mean? You will force yourself into a position where the guy will have no choice. I mean, it would come to even to a certain point, like even if you're not one of his favorites, if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, you literally give the guy no choice, whether he wants to or not. He's gonna be like, well, this guy is performing, better than everybody. I have to put him in, even if I prefer maybe this guy to play, but this guy's doing it more than everybody else, so I have to. Um, 4 likes. Yeah, we need to get the likes up. We need to get the likes up. Everybody smash the like button for me, please. Smash the like button is very important. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and turn on the notifications you haven't. But let's get the likes up, because there's about 13 people in here, and we're up to 6 likes, so I like to see that. Thank you for everybody that's smashing the like button. And let me just continue to go through some of the things. Obviously, Ten Hag was speaking. Ten Hag said to the fans, "You are the best supporters in the world. Thanks for your support. I promise you that those players will give everything to get the FA Cup and bring it back to Old Trafford." So, strong statement from Eric Ten Hag, and I think it was an important statement. There was some boos when he was speaking, and I was hoping that was kind of from the Newcastle fans and not from the United fans, but obviously I'm unclear about that. But they were slightly there, and you know what? To be fair, he did quiet. Those boos did get quieted, because as he continued on with his speech, I think he got a little bit more stronger into the speech, and then everybody kind of got behind him, and started chanting and singing and doing all that. So. I would be kind of disappointed if it was our fans booing him. It might have been the Newcastle fans. I don't really know, but I did hear a couple boos. It wasn't a lot of boos, but there was some boos. Um, and Ten Hag saying after the season we had so far, I don't talk about pride. We're all disappointed with the season. I think again that's a very good statement from Eric Ten Hag. It's a very truthful statement. And him and the players know that this hasn't been, a great season, and rightfully so. They should be disappointed because we are obviously disappointed. And I think little things like this when he does do it. But you see that this isn't to the media. This was directly to the fans. Like this was microphone in hand in the middle of the stadium. And he does directly address us and tell us things that we want to hear him say. I think his issue is when he goes to talk to the media. He doesn't like the media, and therefore he gives statements and stuff to the media because he likes to fuck with the media. But then at the same time, when he makes like some crazy statement that everybody's gonna disagree with, it kind of goes against him because the fans take it and they're like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" And it's like, well, you don't really see it through the lens of like he's just saying that just to say it to the media because he doesn't want to he doesn't want to go to the media and tell the media like my players are shit, they played like shit, or these guys suck or whatever, you know what I mean, or we suck, or he doesn't want to give those statements to the media, but he to the fans he is usually very direct and honest. Um, Eric Ten Hag on Bruno Fernandes, especially with the injuries around, he has to carry the team. He keeps a high level. Bruno, again, I don't know what this guy is made out of, man, because he is just like he is just unbelievable. Like even when he went down and he was holding his hamstring, and I got scared for a second because I thought he's pulled his hamstring, and he got up and he just kept going, and like he just walked it off, and I was like, this guy is just like he's made from a different cloth, bro. I don't know what's in his genes or whatever, but yeah, it is crazy. And then Ten Hag said, absolutely, the club wants to keep Bruno. No question about that. As far as I know, he loves to play for Manchester United. And that's what I said. I don't think Bruno is going anywhere. I really don't. They would have to put in some crazy type of offer, which I don't think you're going to get that unless it's from a Saudi club. And I don't think Bruno wants to go to Saudi Arabia anyway. I don't think he wants to go to a Saudi club, so I think he would reject it anyway. And United are not looking to push him out the door. They would probably talk about it and consider it if it was like, let's say, 150 million for Bruno Fernandes. But then again, Bruno would probably be like, I don't really want to leave, and the club would probably be like, okay, we don't really want to sell you. It's just a consideration. Ten Hag did talk about the youngsters, saying this club is in a transition. We have had a disappointing season, but in this disappointment, we progressed some good young players: Rasmus Højlund, Diallo, Garnacho, and Koobie Mainoo. It is good that 3 were on the score sheet today. Yeah, 100%, and that's what we've been saying. That's what I've been saying. That is the main core of the young group that we have right now is Rasmus, AMAD, Garnacho, and Koobie Mainoo. Three were on the score sheet today. If we wanted to be extra greedy, we could have got Garnacho on the score sheet and then had our cake and eat it too. That would have been the perfect scenario, and it would have been the most lovely day ever. Um, but yeah, that's the main core, and we need to build around these guys. We need to add a couple more younger, hungry players, just like they are, to the rest of the squad, and we move forward going into next season. Um, there's a picture, man, here that's like breaking my heart. It's a picture of Rafael Varane, and he here. Let me see if I could get this. Let me see if I could get this in the. Let me see if I can get this in the stream for you guys, so you guys could see. So you guys could see. Wait, what's going on in the chat? Because I had the screen pulled up. I've missed it. What's happening here? Like smashed. AMAD, HOJLUND, Garnacho. It goes that was Newcastle fans. Oh, this guy, Michael Zachariah, was a Newcastle fan? Oh, the Newcastle fans were the guys booing. They were booing. They were booing. Okay, okay, okay. I got you. 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 Yeah, I figured it was the Newcastle fans, but I was just like, I was unsure because I couldn't actually see. Sky Sports didn't want to show me. They didn't want to show me. Um, Lyle saying that's how I'll be on the 25th. Smashed, especially if we win. Richard saying, I hope so, Ray. What did Ray say? Oh, AMAD, Højlund, Garnacho must start for the FA Cup. Yeah, 100%. This is what we're saying. This is what we're saying. Yeah. Richard's got his 60 Heinekens ready to go. It's gonna be a good time for him whether we win or lose, apparently, because 60 Heinekens are going uh down the drain one way or another. But wait, I want to get this on the screen for you guys so you can see what I'm looking at, because this thing is breaking my heart here. Um, let me see how I'm gonna do this. Here. Add an image. Browse. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. This is Varane after everybody has left the ground. He's taking a seat at Old Trafford by himself in the middle of the pitch, just taking it all in one last time, being there. Oh, that breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. Breaks my heart because you could tell he really loves the club, and he always wanted to come here and play for this club, and but he's made the decision. He's got to go. Yeah, he looks dejected. No, he's just. I mean, like, not dejected. Look, look. He's just taking it in. He's enjoying his last moment there. He's enjoying his last moment. He's just soaking it all in. He's just taking it in. But again, once a Red, always a Red, and I'm sure he'll always be welcomed back. No matter what, right? And I'm sure he'll be around. But yeah, that's because I love him as a player, and I would have yeah. He looks a little bit more serene. He's not like dejected. Obviously, he's feeling a little bit sad. Uh, but yeah, he's just taking it in and enjoying himself. But I'm twisted about it because I really do like Varane, and I wish he probably would have stayed for another 1 or 2 seasons. But I do understand that we do need to do a rebuild, and we do need to move forward. And these things are gonna happen. And then just a couple more quotes, and then we'll probably end it from here. But Ten Hag saying, I'm very pleased with the performance against Newcastle. In the past months, we had many games where we were in winning positions, but we couldn't get over the line. I think Lyle mentioned something like that earlier. Today was very good, and we could bring Lisandro Martinez on, an experienced player and warrior in difficult moments. And yeah, that was good to see Lisandro back in there, and he did show why we call him the Butcher, making basically an instant impact. And it was good to see him back out there. We missed him so much. That guy is such a warrior for us. He's so important to the team. And we need him to stay healthy, and we need him to be available like all season next season. And we could use another player with his mentality and attitude too. If we could find somebody like him and add them to the squad, that would be absolutely just fantastic. And Ten Hag said, it was our last game at home. We wanted to thank them for sticking with us. We are in difficult times. We are in a transition at this club, and the results are not what we expect. We also have our reasons, but it's still a disappointing season. So just Ten Hag acknowledging that, we do know that this season has been disappointing. It hasn't been what we wanted. We understand the frustrations of the fans, and we still thank you for constantly showing the support. The fans have been great in and out of the stadium. Just up, the support that they showed, even when we got slapped and embarrassed by Crystal Palace. The support that the away fans showed was absolutely fantastic, and the players really didn't deserve it in that match. But they still gave it to them, and they've been doing that all season long, and we've been doing it all season long, and we stick by our team. We stick by our team. We just want to see our team perform good, through all the frustration and all the anger and all the whatever. It's just because we want the team to perform and do what they need to do. So now we can probably start looking more forward to next season. Obviously, we still have to go that FA Cup, and let's see what we do there. But Bruno making a statement, captain from our captain, saying, "I am no different from anyone. Just because I have the armband, I always try my best, and we always do the best we can for the club. Nobody hides that we play for a big club, and we have to lift our standards every game." And Bruno saying on a captain's performance, he says it doesn't exist. It's a team performance. And I think that's actually an important statement, right? I think I think Roy Keane would highly disagree with that statement because it's Roy Keane, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it is true though. It is a team performance. I mean, Bruno Fernandes could be out there. If you break it down, Bruno Fernandes could be out there giving an 8, a 9, and a 10. But if the rest of the team is playing like shit and they're giving a 6, I mean not a 6. If they're giving like a 4 or 5, and the rest of the team, I'm talking about the other like 9 players on the pitch, even 10 if you include the goalkeeper. You're not accomplishing anything. You're not accomplishing anything. The team performance has to be the most important. Everybody, and individually, everybody has to do their job, but that equals a very good, solid team performance. Now obviously he needs to lead by example as the captain, but him alone putting in a captain's performance, it does not lead to the team performance being exceptional because they have to do their jobs. They should be doing their jobs regardless of, what he's doing. Richard saying, yeah, but things change. No one loved this club more than Mata and Matic. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just accepting it, but I just seen that photo and it kind of just hit me a little bit more. You know what I mean? But I know it has to change, and I know, the club probably needs it anyway. Like I spoken about on the last show, like he is as good as he is slightly injury prone. And on the wages he's on, and just we need a little bit more consistency so that the pairing center backs aren't being constantly swapped out, and they could probably play the whole season. I mean, that was something that why Ferdinand and Vidic worked so well, because they were basically pretty much always available and they were always playing together, which allowed them to form like one of the greatest partnerships the Premier League has ever seen, in my opinion, or at least in my era. So that's important for your center backs. They need to be as available as possible, and they need to play together as much as possible. And unfortunately, he has talked about how he has suffered with different injury problems and all that. So it is probably best for him to move on. You know. And Axe Lord saying Ten Hag in, say no to Tuchel. Well, now that you mentioned Tuchel, I could give you the little update on Tuchel that we received early in the day, and I've messed the chat up here, but so Bayern Munich are actually currently right now looking to keep Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich. They are holding talks with Thomas Tuchel. I don't know if Thomas Tuchel is going to want to do that. But but yeah, it looks like Thomas Tuchel might even be off of the market because Bayern are having a very hard time trying to find a manager to replace him, which is actually kind of crazy for Bayern, because Bayern usually operate very, very good. In the past two seasons, 2 years, they have been operating very, very not Bayern Munich-ish with the decisions they're making. I mean, the fact that they decided that Tuchel was going to leave at like well in the middle of the season, and they haven't been able to get somebody in, and they made that decision before they even figured out who they were going to get to replace them, I think is very incompetent of them, and it's unlike them. But he might be staying there because they can't seem to find somebody they like, or they can't seem to get somebody that they can't get anybody in. So Tuchel might be staying there, and then Tuchel might not be coming here because he'll be staying at Bayern Munich. Ray is saying I'm going for bottles, whiskey, Jameson, and John Walker on 25th of May. Is that your starting front three? Is we got Whiskey on the left wing, Jameson striker, and then Johnny Walker playing right wing. That's who you're starting on the front three on the 25th of May. And then Richard saying there's no need to worry. There's always Victor. No. Victor's going. Victor's going. Victor is gone. Victor is gone. Yeah, Victor's gonna be going as he should be going. And I think we minute 20. Yeah, I think we'll end it there today. So thank you guys for everybody that tuned in. I greatly appreciate you. It was a good chat once again. Positive day for us. We haven't had too many of these throughout the season, but we're gonna take it at the last match at Old Trafford for the season. Hopefully we go to play Brighton and we get the win. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe if you're in here, because there's a couple people I see in here. They might not be subscribers, so subscribe, turn on the notifications, smash the like button for me if you haven't smashed the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel out, helps the channel get seen more. If you enjoyed the content as well, I'll always smash the like button. Shout out to Richard, shout out to Ray, shout out to Axe Lord, shout out to Lyle for being here, carrying the chat. Being part of the community, being consistent, always here. Without you guys, I have nothing. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for always giving insightful and good opinions. I greatly appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And we will see when the next one is. It will probably be. I'll try to fit one in between the match against Brighton. But we'll see what breaks and what comes out of the club, because every day, different stories. So something might be important, we might pop up, but I will definitely try to schedule that for you in advance. So if I do plan to do the show on a certain day, I will try to schedule and just have the stream scheduled at least a couple hours in advance, so you guys could at least see it or be aware that there will be a stream going forward. But other than that, thank you guys. I greatly appreciate it. Richard, Axe Lord saying thank you, good night, everyone. Richard saying thank you, good night, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. Lyle saying good win, good chat as always. Thanks, team. Good night, Reds. Come on, United. By Richard, and Richard saying great stuff. Well, thank you guys. I love that you guys greatly appreciate it. GGMU. Let's see if we could get that FA Cup, man. Let's see if we could get that FA Cup. It would be a very good ending to a very rough and disappointing season. So I'm a little bit more hopeful now, and the more players we get back, I'm gonna be a little bit more hopeful. And today's a positive day. Everybody go be happy. Sanny's eating. He doesn't have to be hungry because we've won now. So Sanny, I forgot to shout Sanny out. So shout out to Sanny. He might not be here, but if he's here, shout out to Sanny and Ray. So have a good night, guys. Thank you, and I will catch you later. I appreciate all of you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one.